championships, that was a huge mistake because players win championships. Every coach in this league will tell you. When you talk about the Boston Celtics, the brilliance of Cousy and Havlicek, Russell, Bird, those guys, they won championships. In LA, it was Magic, Kareem, Worthy. The brilliance of those players, they won the championship. Here in Chicago, obviously, it was Michael. I mean, all due respect to people in upper management, but they're not out there cutting off the baseline, hitting game-winning shots, you know, out there every day at practice. Michael Jordan was the reason this team won so many championships.
And with all due respect to Phil Jackson, he'll be the first to admit that he doesn't have his 9 championships if he doesn't have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. And speaking about, there's a guy we talked about who probably would have had a championship had he not played in the Jordan era, although actually started out his career playing along with Michael Jordan here in Chicago before being traded.
I mean, all those guys we talked about earlier, all of them deserve to win a championship. They all put in the time, the effort. They just had one major obstacle. That man right there, Michael Jordan. I mean, he's playing with Oak now. I wonder how Oak treats him every day in practice.
That's right.
You know, Oak would have had a couple of rings on his fingers. Patrick as well. I mean, Patrick was a guy who went out and played hard easily. One of the most gifted centers this league has ever seen, and he put in all kinds of time. I mean, Patrick was a gym rat. Guy worked his tail off.
You know, we talked about it in Charles Oakley as well as he comes towards the end of his career. Actually played last year for the Bulls in his second stint. This is a guy who, again, has been overshadowed because of the era. Charles Oakley had 6 years where he averaged a double-double and 4 other years where he was close to averaging a double-double.
There wasn't that media-driven double-double hype that's going on now. I mean, you look at Patrick. I mean, Patrick was putting up double-doubles like they were nothing. And he was walking into double-doubles.
Jalen Rose cut off by Kwame Brown. And we get a foul down there on Kwame as he reached around a little bit too aggressively. And we're down, not into the shooting bonus yet. Just under 5 seconds remaining. And so the Bulls will put it into play. Brunson gets it, has to go to work quick. Jalen Rose down to Fizer. He beats the buzzer, but can't drop it down. And the first quarter comes to an end with the hometown Chicago Bulls leading Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards 21-19. Regardless of score, regardless of outcome, it is Michael Jordan's night. And we'll get back to Chicago with more of it in a moment. Hey, Kevin Stojakovic is getting ready for the long-distance shootout during All-Star weekend. The opponents probably don't like seeing him knock down all those threes. Here's a look at our game track as we follow what is Michael Jordan's night. Although thus far, the night has belonged to the Chicago Bulls because they have the lead. Donyell Marshall with 7 points. Jordan, just the deuce coming out. But as the Chicago Bulls well know, even Michael Jordan closing in on 40 can drop a whole bunch on you in a hurry.
He told me earlier this year that he still gets butterflies before the game, so you let those wear off a little bit. He settles down. Those shots will drop for him.
Michelle, have they settled down in the Wizards huddle?
Well, certainly Doug Collins keeps asking them to settle down, and this time focusing on defense. They're on offense right now. He's fairly happy with that, John. But on defense is where he's asking them to communicate better, listen to one another, and he particularly directed that to Tyronn Lue and Kwame Brown.
Tyronn Lue in at the point guard right now. Kwame Brown, who started the season as a starter and has lost a lot of time. Fizer's shot no good. Curry strong with the rebound. Jalen Rose had an open look, drives down, loses the handle, out of bounds, belongs to the Wizards.
Michael's still around trying to swap balls. He just has those quick hands with those long arms and that great anticipation. It's extremely difficult to get a shot over him. Imagine when he was 5 years younger when he used to move his feet.
Jalen Rose is 1 of 7 from the field. That tells you a little bit about something about whether he still plays defense. Tyronn Lue, open look is no good. Kwame Brown had the rebound. Fizer just takes it away from him.
That's where Kwame Brown's going to have to get stronger in the upper body area so he can rip those boards down.
Eddie Robinson's shot is no good. Brown gets the rebound this time. Lue with a quick push. Waits till he sees a little more blue on the floor before he goes to work and finds Stackhouse.
Yeah, numbers weren't quite in his favor.
Kwame Brown gets Curry in the air And that's a move that probably last year that Kwame Brown would not have known. That's not a high school move. That's an NBA move. Get the guy in the air and lean in.
Exactly. That's an old vet move. Get a man up in the air, throw your body into him. And like you said, probably last year, here he is doing a great job. A little step back. That up fake. Curry bites on it. And, you know, if you're a rookie, what you tend to do is fade away, just trying to get your shot off. That time, Kwame Brown recognizes it's an opportunity for him to get to the free throw line.
Kwame Brown loves playing against Chicago, averaging a double-double. And in the first meeting here this year, 20 points and 12 rebounds. Do you think that it's the whole high school there that who's the best high school player to come out that year? Robinson takes it right at Jordan and Lou and scores. He's long. Eddie Robinson's got the long arms. I've liked him since he came into the league.
And he's another guy who has that crazy athletic ability. You saw what he did in Atlanta the other night at the end of the game where he threw that alley-oop to himself and dunked it. I mean, he took off from deep.
Lou along the baseline finds Oakley to Kwame Brown. He drops down a jumper.
A nice ball movement by the Wizards. Several people are touching the basketball before the shot goes up.
You almost get the feeling here tonight like the fans that are in here, 22,000 plus, like they're not sure what they should be doing other than cheering for Michael Jordan. Curry with a strong finish.
Curry doing a great job of sealing his man along the baseline. Great bounce pass, better finish.
He has 6. Lou down to Jordan. Jalen Rose on his back. Backs him in. Oakley tries to clear some space for him. Little too strong off the back iron, and then a foul on the floor. Looks like it's going to go against Eddie Curry.
Here's Michael. This is Michael just being clever. He knows he's not going to beat Jalen Rose with his quickness, but with his know-how. Able to step through the gap there, still able to get his shot off. And he still knows how to get shots. I mean, that's the sign of a scorer. When he has that athletic ability, no one can keep him from getting his shot off. Even the guys that played defense against him the best.
Kwame Brown turns around, fouled by Pfizer, and Eddie Curry's going to have to come out of the game. And this is one of the problems that the young players sometimes have. He's picked up his 3rd foul already.
Here's Jalen battling Michael, fighting off screens, and this will tire you out. And we've talked about the rules of defense plenty of times where you must see ball and man. Well, often the case with Michael, rules don't apply here. If you want to face guard him, go ahead and face guard him and keep him from getting the basketball. You know, John, we used to play a game on the team bus when I was in San Antonio, and we would come up with these hypothetical situations. If you had an opportunity, if you were a general manager, you're drafting a player, if you had a guy to take the last shot in the game, if you wanted to shut down the opponent's leading scorer, who would you pick? And ultimately, in that game, we had to exclude one guy because he was the answer to every question. And that tells you how brilliant Michael Jordan was.
Rose turns around, no good. Corey Blunt, who just checked into the game, saves the rebound. Brunson and Lou collide. And Lou got the most of it. Then Blunt from the baseline, no good. Another rebound almost hauled in by Robinson, but finally, Tyronn Lue comes up with it, now trying to find Kwame Brown as the Bulls get aggressive defensively. Larry Hughes down to Brown. Blunt is there guarding him. Shot clock down to 7, and Blunt aggressively goes after the block, and Kwame Brown will go to the free throw line.
Got to go a little bit stronger to the bucket, especially against a vet.
Bill Cartwright trying to shut down his former teammate, and the Bulls are down by 1.
33, unbelievable performance tonight, John.
Greg Anthony with the Nuggets on Denver there, and let's look at the Eastern Conference standings. First of all, Isaiah Thomas, what a job he has done at the start of the year. But you look down at the bottom right now, and with Philadelphia struggling and Orlando without Grant Hill, you're not really sure what team you get from one night to the next. This Washington team is poised and in position, obviously, to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they've struggled of late. I mean, they at one point, I believe they were in the 6th spot.
Yep.
And I would expect them to finish a little bit higher. Michael's continuing to look good. He's had a couple high-scoring games. I would expect them to finish 5th or 6th. I mean, at one point, people were talking about them possibly securing that 4th spot.
In the East, you're not really sure exactly what to expect.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen.
Kwame Brown with the foul, and Washington, Charles Oakley, Michelle, he feels that this is a team that should be